The cosmetics and beauty industry is one of the least regulated industries in the world today.
This week on UnMute, I sit down with the legendary Ayesha Depala.
I had a client message me yesterday actually that she's suffered a terrible reaction on both her arms because a doctor prescribed her a particular treatment.
A rising voice in the realm of consciousness, spiritual leadership, and the feminine restoration.
We started sending out some products from the market to our lab in India, and then we realized there was a good number of products that were not actually declaring some of the products that were there and declaring some of the products that were actually not inside there. So this infuriated me, and I said, how? Because I'm raising a young daughter at home today, where basically people are profiting off our insecurity.
And our lack of education and knowledge.
Lack of education and knowledge. It's very empowering to understand that we are not at the mercy of our hormones at all. That the breath is in fact a very powerful tool. It's free. I'm working, but I need me time. I need to get away from this. That's already a red flag. For women and our psychology and our beauty, we need a lot of moon time, which we don't get.
I'm sorry. I'm speaking on behalf of millions of women. When do we have time to moonbathe, Ayesha? What happens when a fashion icon trades the runway for spiritual retreats and swaps the fast pace of couture for the slow wisdom of healing? This week on UnMute, I sit down with the legendary Ayesha Depala, a name synonymous with timeless fashion in the Middle East, and now a rising voice in the realm of consciousness, spiritual leadership, and the feminine restoration. Ayesha has dressed royalty, redefined regional elegance, and built an empire of beauty. But her most powerful creation? Her inner transformation. As someone who also began in the world of fashion as a model and now works with others to unmute their truth through voice, presence, and healing, I deeply admire Ayesha's courage to kind of walk away from image and into essence. She says it best. Fashion is often about image. Healing is about truth. And I couldn't agree more. In our conversation today, we will explore how culture and conditioning silence the soul. What it takes to evolve without abandoning your gifts. And how true beauty begins when we let go of the mask. This conversation is a story about courage, about listening, and about a woman who unmuted her own soul and now helps many, many others to do the same. So let's unmute with Ayesha Depala. It's been 2-3 years since I knew I wanted to interview you. Now we have UnMute. Thank you for being here.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
I don't know if an hour or 90 minutes or 2 hours will be enough, but I will try my best. I will try my best to ask you the burning questions that I've always had since I've met you. So, once again, I admire how beautiful you are inside out. I admire your creations, your fashion lines, DiviNom, your latest creation, how graceful you are when you walk, when you speak, when you interact with people. So we have so much to learn from you on how we can unmute ourselves and be as brave, courageous, and truthful as you are. So for all the guests, I always have this first question. When do you recall a moment in your life when you felt muted?
I would say as a young growing up child, I had the proclivity and the tendency to be very unmuted, if that makes sense. So as a Scorpio sun sign, which is of course ruled by Mars, I have a lot of Sagittarius energy in my chart, which is very fiery. So my tendency is to be unmute as a child. I was highly vocal, highly verbal. I sometimes spoke at inopportune moments. I would rebel against injustice in school, and I was constantly being punished for this. So my narrative is slightly different. I had to unmute myself over a period of time because I was told that I needed to be seen and not heard. Because as a child, I was very vocal and very verbal. So this got me into a lot of trouble.
This is age...
12, 13, 14, yeah, through my teens, through school years.
And who helped you to say enough is enough with that? What was a moment or person when you said no?
I think I sought the help of plants. And I always say everybody has their own therapist, their leader, their mentor, their guide. It comes in the form of friends. It can come in the form of divine guidance. It can come in the form of a guru. For me, my initial foray into wanting to introspect and really essentially dive into the spirit who I really truly was came through the help of the wisdom of the earth, which is through plants and the medicines from the earth.
Okay, and this journey was 10 years ago, 15 years ago?
About a decade ago.
A decade ago, okay. And since then you were like, okay, world, what you see is what you get. Deal with it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I did realize over time that this was actually welcoming more people into my life. We have this kind of fear that we need to be speaking a certain way in order to be more welcomed, in order to be more accommodating, in order to be more loved. But my narrative has been kind of different. I felt I have received a lot of love, respect, and acknowledgement from my community, from my friends, for speaking my truth.
Some of our common friends, we were having collective conversations, but also solo conversations. They were saying that somehow, they were saying in their 30s and 40s, they were kind of still tiptoeing, still trying to accommodate people. But they were saying from their experience that at 50, 51, they feel like,
I'm done.
So what happens hormonally? What happens in this case with a woman?
Yes.
Why is she stronger and braver at 50 than when she was 30 or 40?
Again, I think it's that indoctrination that we experience when we're young, quite deeply. Again, comes through father, comes through mother, comes through wanting to be liked and wanting to be loved. But when we cross that threshold and we understand that firstly, liking and loving doesn't come from an external stimulus at all. It comes from your experience of yourself from inside. So if we experience the world outside agitated with animosity, if we're experiencing narcissistic tendencies or perhaps stuff in our experience that is not in alignment with how we are, I always say as women and men and children, we need to take radical responsibility of anything that we experience outside, absolutely anything. And the moment we start to do that, the world outside starts to shift. So when we deeply realize that, it's actually all inside, nothing to do with the outside. And maybe 50s is that threshold for most women when they've experienced that trying to fit in, trying to be good, trying to be a nice girl.
Didn't work.
It didn't work. So while they've tried it, then they try something new. And I think that comes with experience and a little bit of courage, which does come with time.
But also hormonally, we are different, and that helps us. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. I think women have dysregulated hormones because we have not been taught how to regulate our hormones.
Let's dive into this.
So that's a different conversation. So again, radical responsibility. Can we blame our hormones for our mood swings? Perhaps. Can we take charge of our hormones? Perhaps.
Big time.
So my intention is always to tell a friend, a daughter, a client, anybody, take radical responsibility. Do you want to be pushed around like a pendulum because of your mother, father, experience, trauma, childhood, the moon, astrology, planets,
Mercury retrograde.
Mercury retrograde, you name it, right? There's always an external stimulus that we blame for our, lack of a better word, moods, let's say, right? Hormones is another one of them. The breath can be fundamental.
Someone is an expert on the breath.
In regulating. I'm just learning. I'm only just learning. But I think it's very empowering to understand that we are not at the mercy of our hormones at all. that the breath is in fact a very powerful tool. It's free, it's accessible to us, it's with us and on us. We don't need to go outside to a breath worker. Of course, a teacher is helpful because he or she can really guide you into the more precise way of breathing. If we have insomnia, there's a breath work for it. If our hormones are out of homeostasis, we have a pranayama for it. There's certain mudras that you can practice along with the breathing. If you are agitated, there are very specific breathwork techniques that you can practice that release anger from the body. So rather than blaming the external stimulus, I always say radical self-responsibility. Let's take responsibility and let's go and find the tools that can enable and empower us.
Weird question.
No, nothing weird.
I never understood, although I got certified as a yoga teacher, I was curious and I studied in 2019. How does
Can a mudra
the mudra impact? Is the geometry, is the touching the meridians?
Meridians,
Meridians,
yes.
I'm close.
Absolutely, you're right there.
I'm close.
It's absolutely correct. So we're electromagnetic beings, basically. And the breath has a fundamental way of guiding us and healing us. Notice that when you're strained, it's very simplistically put, but when you're strained, your breath will be super shallow. And if you practice certain mudras, your one nostril can be predominant over the other. So your entire body and your psychology and your physiognomy can be controlled by mudras and by the breath.
Before starting a podcast, today I didn't have the chance because we were in and out. Before starting a podcast, if I have more time at home or in the studio, what is the best mudra for me to practice to be even more relaxed than I am?
Currently?
Not currently. Let's say tomorrow I do another podcast and I want to be more relaxed. What is a good mudra for me to do?
That's a good mudra. That's right. It's a good mudra right there. There, you know it already. Don't need to ask.
Look,
there's different ones for intellect. There's different. I'm actually, when we finish, what I might do is I might send you something that you can go over and look at all the different mudras that are good for. Some help you become a bit more cerebral. So there's different mudras for different things. And I can send you that little link. Just stick it up on your wall and there you go.
To me, you are the most gorgeous sage and creator that I've met in a very long time. How do you identify yourself? Are you a fashion designer? Are you a woman? Are you a mother? Are you a wife? Are you the creator of DiviNom? How do you define yourself?
I think, Andrea, what I learned over time, these last 10 years when I was self-reflecting, what I really learned about this very idea of definition of ourselves was to undefine ourselves is where we find the definition. Not in actual words, not in actual identity, labels, and tags. I'm a mother. We can identify with it. I'm a businesswoman. I'm a fashion designer. I've dressed celebrities. These are all tags and identities, right? We can define ourselves. But then there's a deeper truth that's behind and beneath all of that, even beyond I'm Hindu, I'm Indian, even beyond that. There is an identity, which the Buddhists call, it's a beautiful state, it's called shunyata. Shunya means zero, so it's zero state. And in the Bible, it's mentioned also as a state. It's called the plenum. All cultures and religions have this. So my job, I feel, in this lifetime has been to disidentify with who I am and myself. So every day, I work on peeling back a layer of that area of my life where I feel I'm identified. I get into that area to strip it down, just to turn into a blank state. Because in my experience, when I've been more blank, more empty, that is when I've experienced true wholeness.
Does this apply to where you are on the hierarchy, on Maslow's hierarchy? Because if you have a certain financial security and you're rich in knowledge, maybe it's a bit easier to have the luxury of unpeeling. But when you have a 9-to-5 and you're maybe living paycheck to paycheck, so to speak, you need to show the certificates and where you've been this summer and what volunteering work you've done, because look, I'm eligible, You're smiling and your smile says everything. You've answered already. You've answered. But for those who haven't received the answer, can you put it into words?
I love that you receive it. Beautiful. Good job.
Aquarius ascendant.
Aquarius, and I love it. So you're also neurotic like me then, yes? A little neurotic.
I'm
there you go.
pretending to be normal, but I'm not.
I feel you, sister. You know, once my master told me that, do you know that the beggar that sleeps under the flyover, he never has insomnia. He has no bed, he has no temper mattress, he doesn't have a cushion or a pillow, or he's asleep. He's so surrendered because he doesn't have any stress. Yes, I'm not saying that he doesn't have the stress of how his food is coming, but this human stress that we inflict on ourselves of jobs and certificates and running the rat race, to me, it's illusory. It's an illusion. I do believe that the divine provides. I think today, if I gave up everything and ran off into the mountains without an ID or a passport, I know deep in my heart I will be okay. I don't think I'll be okay. I know I'll be okay. Because there is a higher force that knows what's okay for me, what's good for me. And there is a compass within that I follow. So I encourage your audience, perhaps anybody that is listening to this, to anchor into that there are things that you're told that you might need, and if that feels necessary, by all means. But if it feels like a burden at some point, and it doesn't feel like pressure that you need to run away from, I'm working, but I need me time, I need to get away from this, that's already a red flag. You need to investigate. Why is it that you need to run away from it? Why do you need me time?
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say because I'm hypnotized. I have a problem. So when as you were saying that, yeah, neurotic. As you were saying that, I went back to the 100 hours of dark retreat I've done in August 2024, when it was very scary to surrender to this is it. This is what happens when I'm dying. And I was dying in many, many ways in the dark. I haven't had a chance to tell you.
Yes.
And when I came out with the understanding that it's now, as I'm seeing nature, you and people, that I'm in the dark because I have the illusion that I know where I'm going, but I know nothing.
Beautiful.
And also, since that moment, thank you, since that moment in August, I started to see much more how I'm held, how I'm loved.
Beautiful.
Part of the unmuting process that I have been through, and which gave me the why to start this initiative and this revolution of unmuting ourselves so we can be more courageous and more loving and more true.
Perfect. Thank you. Good job.
Part of it came from the old story that I was fueling. My dad passed away when I was 7. I felt abandoned. My mom had it hard because she was a widow, with me being 7 and my sister being only 1 year old. My mom not being there available and giving me more love and more emotions and more emotional safety, because she had to be a widow and manage herself in the 90s.
And your sister.
And my sister. Then I had the responsibility to becoming a caretaker for my sister and become an adult at only 7. So I didn't really feel loved. But as you did your plant medicine and unmuting and cultivated your courage, your beauty, and your wisdom, only last retreat, when I did the dark retreat, when I came out, I started to notice, to observe past the illusions of those stories, how loved I am by so many people. And how, if my mom and dad gave me only this amount of love, the world and existence is going to give me this amount of love only if I open my eyes to see it.
Absolutely. Profound learning for you. Profound.
I want to ask you, what makes you such a passionate, fiery human? You exude so much passion, so much vitality, so much love. Where do you draw it from?
From the earth. Literally the earth, I think. Of course, we have, as a very new student of astrology, I'm a water sign. I'm Scorpio. So for me, anything that's deep has meaning to me. If it's just vanilla and on the surface, it holds no meaning to me. So with a lot of fire in my chart as well, I have quite a lot of planets in fire signs, 9 in total. So that makes me much more fire heavy. So
Put on the fans, Daisy. 9?
yes, 9 planets in fire signs. So very
I'm
fiery,
joking, I'm
very,
joking.
very fiery. So it's gone out to put.
I'm joking.
It's just our presence. And it's not. It's gone. And so, as far as drive is concerned, let's talk about Mars for a second. It's a planet you're familiar with as an Aries woman. It's the ruler of Mars, also the ruler of Scorpio. It's where we take action. My Mars in my chart sits in Scorpio itself. It's where Mars is super comfortable with. Mars is at home in Scorpio. So my ability to just move through things, action things, and just go, it's in my chart. It's innate. It's within. I know no fear. Ask me to jump off a plane, I'll jump off a plane. Ask me to swim with a shark, I'll swim with a shark. So I don't have any kind of fear narrative. I'm scared of silly stuff. Like if you ask me to stand on a stage and talk, I'd probably get scared.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank goodness you have my number.
Yeah. Yes, you can help me with that. I know you're really good with that. So I'm scared of really mundane things, but the really, I would say, more obvious things that generic world is scared of, I feel very safe in those environments. I don't know if I answered your question.
You did. Where do you draw your courage and your vitality? And you brought in the earth and your understanding of your own birth chart, which brings me to the next question. Do you guide yourself through the narrative of your chart or through your intuition? Because I know you are incredibly wise, and I'm so happy you're here to have this amazing conversation. But I feel how many people are holding on to their chart, and it's because of their chart that they're going to do this or some, you know what I mean? Yeah, okay.
That's also rooted in uncertainty, perhaps fear, and not trusting. The chart is like a compass.
Okay.
It gives you a little bit of direction, that here's where you could potentially go. Here lies your prowess. Here lies your proclivities, maybe an area that you want to hone in on. There's some areas that you might want to refine. It just gives you a broad stroke kind of overview. Now, I don't look at transits on a day-to-day basis to see, okay, this planet ingressing here, okay, I'm not really feeling uncomfortable. Why is that? Because this is not my personal, again, this is anecdotal. I'm not saying this is how we use a chart or how we don't. I'm merely stating this is how I deal with astrology. That's all. So it's there as a little bit of a blueprint. It gives you an understanding of where your skills lie, areas that you might want to refine. And I use the chart perhaps to navigate that. My chart was read before I started DiviNom. And my master actually read my chart when I was in the thick of my fashion days.
Yeah.
And said to me, it's interesting that you're in the fashion business, because your chart actually says that you will be deeply, deeply working with plants. That's interesting that you went into fashion, and just closed it there. And cut to, of course, today, yeah. And it dawned on me just last year, and I thought, wow, this was actually said to me a while ago. I didn't correlate it until very recently. So it's all there. The information is there. It doesn't mean I should do that from the time that I'm young, because there are no such thing as mistakes. There's no mistakes, right? The areas of our life that we reject, that we want to move on from, also that's just a compass. If you can look at everything in your life as a guru, my fashion years, the things that I didn't want to do. It took me 40 years to learn that I didn't want to do it. Okay, that taught me something.
What did you do before being a fashion designer?
I started to study the healing arts.
Yeah.
Actually, before I studied fashion.
You're from Kashmir. You grew up among
the world, the land.
You grew up in paradise.
Grew up in paradise.
Yeah.
What a privilege and a blessing it's been. What a mystical land it is. We didn't have any access to shopping malls. We didn't go out shopping. We didn't know what that was. My friends would go out to Disneyland and Disney World, and we were taking tents in the back of our Jeep, and we were going out camping. At that time, we would resent my parents for that, but in hindsight, I look back and I'm so grateful for this early wisdom that they cultivated in us, that there's no more intelligent leader, mentor, guide, a lover, and a teacher than nature.
I want to go into, naturally I want to speak so much more about DiviNom, because since I saw the launch and the website, I was like, oh, what is this? When did she create all this? And you said it started a long time ago, but you weren't able to define it.
Absolutely. So I think it's been cooking in the last 7 years.
7 years?
Yes, I couldn't label it.
2018, 2019?
I actually struggle with dates very often. I feel like I erase things
Fine.
from my
7
memory,
years,
but I
okay.
think it's roughly 7 years. So no, after that for sure. I had the fortuitous encounter with my master. I also feel like he was sent by the divine above. I think, as they say, when the student is ready, the master shall appear. And at that time, there was something I was seeking. I felt a bit lost. On the external surface, it felt to me like I had what I needed to not just survive, but to thrive in this world. It seemed like it was all there. But I was seeking something deeper. I didn't know what I was seeking. And I had the fortuitous encounter of meeting my master. His name is Param Guru. I met him in Dubai. And from then until now, it's been a sweet 7 years, and I've been in conversation with him since. He is an Indian mystic. He has a deep, deep wisdom on all our ancient scriptures, from Bhagavad Gita to Srimad Bhagavatam to Tantra to all 8 branches of Ayurveda, any mysticism subject topic you can pick up, and he's very deeply insightful in these topics.
So you mean to say one day you were strolling in Dubai Mall of Emirates, and you just crossed paths with Param Guru? Param Guru?
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, he was in Dubai, and he was consulting people in Dubai at the time. He was
Okay.
meeting with people in Dubai, and a friend of mine recommended that I go see him because she understood that these were my personal proclivities, and she thought that I might benefit from
Resonate.
meeting Param Guru. And initially, actually, I hesitated, and then the second time when she and somebody else told me to go.
Insisted? Yeah.
And I said, okay, there's something telling me that I must go visit him, and am I glad that I did. And ever since then, we've been in conversation about life. He has a very deep understanding of Vedic psychology. He runs this beautiful program on motherhood and parenting, the ability to create a child. So what a mother must do before and what a father must do before they conceive a child in their bodies in order for the baby to be healthy and balanced, with a balanced nervous system. So that's just one thing that I highlight. But of course, reversing a host of diseases in the body is also something that through his wisdom teachers and guides that he's learned very profoundly.
From your website, I've noticed that he's very young. He's what?
Very young.
He looks very young.
He's very young. So he started studying at the age of 6.
Exactly, because you are expecting a guru to be past their 50s and 60s.
Absolutely. I think with
average.
him, time is not linear, for sure. The amount of wisdom I can grasp in an hour, I have no doubt that the average human being perhaps can grasp twice. I like to read slowly. Now with him, he wakes up at 3 in the morning. So if you calculate the number of hours, he's already spent awake on this planet. It's probably way more than I have.
Got it.
And I'm over a decade older than him.
Got it.
So his life, in the way that he's been taught, raised, has been from the onset to become a guru.
Got it. Is he coming from a lineage of gurus?
He comes from a lineage of gurus, yes.
See, I kind of sensed into that.
Yes, yeah.
When people say that the UAE, Dubai, is purely transactional, purely real estate and business,
Yeah.
I say no. That is the healing and spirituality community is growing faster than the AI. Do you agree with that?
100%.
Yay!
I would say, firstly, I think we need to learn not to shame transactional. You know, over time, we all need money. And I think this has been my own relationship with money that I've learned to grow with and evolve. If this is a city that is blooming and blossoming because it's rich, I don't think we need to be ashamed of that. I think we should be proud of it.
When I arrived in 2004, there was no trace, no smell, no scent of cacao ceremonies, breath work.
Understood. Yes, you're
So
right.
in comparison to 2004, in 2025 is like right, left, and center we have. But then to have the gurus coming and then to have these connections where you
Yes.
are creating synergy with him, you're creating DiviNom with him, and through you, the ripple effect of him and you is just huge,
Beautiful.
huge.
Yes. I think that is right. So, in the longer perspective, I would say it's recent. But then I think let's give Dubai its due credit. It's just a little older than me.
Yeah.
When you think about it like that, and look at what Dubai has achieved. I might say, okay, I read 200 books. Look at what Dubai as a city has achieved. It's phenomenal. And from that time trajectory and perspective, if we see that it's seen that entire evolution, the growth that it's seen, and it continues to see, and I think the real growth has yet to come in the next decades. And of course, the spiritual community, I think it's becoming a well-rounded city.
It is. How would you articulate, how would you describe the spirit of Dubai? As in spirit, spirituality, spirit, not just the people. And
I think Dubai is like us as human beings. It's multidimensional. It's not linear. You know, while I can be a businesswoman, right, and concerned with money affairs and wanting to take lessons in money affairs, and while AI today, technology has become a part of us and our team, I also work with plants and medicines. Healing is deeply important to me. I love chanting a mantra, for example, and I also want to learn, like I said, AI skills. So does that make me linear? Does that make Ayesha is spiritual, or Ayesha is, I feel like I'm multidimensional. I have all these different facets, how a diamond has all these different facets.
I want to take full advantage of the fact that I have Ayesha Depala here. So what I mean is, how would you describe the spirit of Kashmir? How would you describe the spirit of Dubai? How would you describe the spirit of New York? That's what I mean.
Let's see.
Let's go to Kashmir.
Let's go to Kashmir. Yeah,
The place where you first bloomed.
the place where I actually was where I was born, and I bloomed, and I still feel like I have my heart there. My master once told me that the place where you have your placenta leaves you. My mother gave birth to me in Kashmir. You will always have like an emotional connection with that place, and I feel like I can't extricate myself from Kashmir despite the turbulence and the turmoil that just recently transpired.
Yes.
I always go back. I must. Kashmir to me seems majestic. It's regal, it's majestic, and I think the spirit of it is deeply spiritual. That's how I sense Kashmir. And if I was to say Dubai, futuristic. That's the spirit of Dubai. It's futuristic. And futuristic sometimes also means going backwards to go forwards. It's taking the lessons from all the other countries and perhaps all the other regions that perhaps didn't do right. It has all that wisdom, and that's how it moves forward. That's why it's always ahead.
Plus, that's what you're doing as well. You're bridging ancient wisdom with what the world needs right now, today.
Right.
And for the sake of the question, how do you feel about New York, the spirit of New York?
It's a high frequency kind of place. I feel like it's
High frequency, okay.
You know, for me, New York, I have a different experience of New York. So while it's buzzing with people and there's lots of, I don't know, it's highly densely populated. When I go to New York, my experience of New York is going to a park. I will go to a park, I will go for treks, we drive out, we go to the mountains. So I feel like maybe I'm not the best person to talk about New York because I have friends there.
Got you.
And that's what we end up doing in New York. I'm not really sitting in restaurants. I rarely eat out. So that's not my experience.
You rarely eat out.
I rarely eat out.
Yeah, let's normalize that.
Let's normalize
Because
that.
many people shame people who say that, saying you're trying to save money, you cannot afford it. But I know in my case that when I cook my food, I put my energy, I know what oils I put.
Bravo.
Love.
Listen to this wise woman.
Praying to the vegetables, thanking them. Whereas in restaurants, everything is and the energy of the chef. What's the reason? What's the reason you eat more at home than out?
I think again it's a felt sense thing, right? Firstly, I'm vegetarian. I don't eat anything that lived once, any creature that had eyes that once lived. So because I'm vegetarian, over time, I've become more in tune with, let's say, somebody who's serving me a soup, but they put chicken stock in it. They'll say it's a vegetable soup, but there might be chicken stock in it. But before I eat it, I smell it. I can tell that it has, I can smell the
Yeah. I hear you.
death. Let's just put it very bluntly. I can smell it. So it's the inauthenticity with which we've been fed that I don't like. The seed oils in particular that are in restaurants are very detrimental to our health. No matter how fancy your tablecloth is, no matter how many stars it's been awarded for however much accomplishment the restaurant has and for however much it excites your taste buds.
Sorry, Michelin star restaurants. Sorry. Ayesha Depala.
Actually, I'm not so sorry. Maybe if they're listening, they need to incorporate healthier oils. And to me, that would be a measure of an award for a restaurant.
Yes.
It's how much it's giving back to the body. So our bodies are being polluted constantly. And I'm not saying vegetables are it. Today, even vegetables aren't clean. So eating in restaurants, the pots and pans that they use, I'm not sure if you are aware that they use aluminum pans because they're cheap. And aluminum, of course, was introduced by the British into Indian kitchen intentionally to dampen and...
I follow your Instagram. You
So
post
you had
about
that
it. I am a real fan. I'm
there
telling
you go. You get some brownie points for that. You watched the reel. Good for you.
I did.
And so...
But finish your idea. So aluminium was introduced by...
the British around the World War to actually dampen the consciousness of Indians. I don't know if you're aware, but even Hitler used to fluoridate the water, and this is all quite intentional. Now, I'm not saying that restaurants are intentionally poisoning us. Sometimes it's unintentional. They use the oil that they're given, and they use it thinking that this is the oil to use to cook with. So in that case, because they are not aware, I feel like they need to level up and become more aware. I spoke to a restaurant owner quite recently, actually, and asked her what oils and pots she used, and she admitted that they used aluminum pans. And it's a recognized restaurant in Dubai, and they also use seed oils in all their cooking. And so this is two of the reasons I mentioned the animal part, and I mentioned the aluminum part, and I mentioned the seed oil.
So Dr. Ayesha, since you are beyond passionate, beyond knowledgeable about plants, medicine, health, vitality, thriving, biohacking ourselves, and you've birthed DiviNom, tell me more about the formulation, why we have it, and... No, I know why we have it, because it makes you look like this. Okay, that's the first big, bold statement. Plus, no, really, why it was birthed, how it started.
Again, I think it stemmed from a burning rage. The cosmetics and beauty industry is one of the least regulated industries in the world today. Supermarkets, pharmacies, department stores, they're awash with with products. High five. They're awash with chemicals, right? In the name of beauty. Now, you might have a cream that has 20 plants inside it, but I always ask, what is the base of that cream that the plants have been added into, or the herbs, or the remedial kind of medicinal factors have been added into? And very often we see that it's petroleum, right? The same with all the different oils and the serums and all that, where basically people are profiting off our insecurity.
And our lack of education and knowledge.
Lack of education and knowledge, absolutely. So I'm a label reader. I'm constantly looking at labels and checking who's putting what. And very often the labels are deceptive. My own lady at home, once she was trying to support one of the products that she was using, and she said, look, and she pointed out to a label, and it was green, and it had a plant on it. And you see how subliminally you take on this message that it's healthy.
Yeah.
So we're being hijacked. Our consciousness has been totally hijacked. And this kind of annoyance, you can say, was what led me to give birth to DiviNom. women today suffer so deeply with, again, when we talk about hormonal issues, when we talk about the uterus, we talk about issues with fibroids and cysts, when we talk about cancers, we talk about cancers in the area of the breast, perhaps. From the time that we wake up in the morning, let's say we brush our teeth, we mouthwash, wash our faces, we'll shampoo our hair, put some conditioner on. Some people might put a serum and
That's it.
add
You've
on
inhaled X
moisturizer.
amount of toxicity
By
already.
the time you're done with the deodorant, and the list goes on. This is just the morning I'm talking about. And by the time you're done with the day, you go out, you've got some fumes to ingest. And let's say if you're a smoker and drinker on top of it.
Ma salama, as they say in Arabic.
So that's a lot of toxicity, right? So I started investigating and looking for clean products. And we started sending out some products from the market to our lab in India to check whether what was being sold was being told, as in, was it authentic? And then we realized there was a good number of products that were not actually declaring some of the products that were there, and declaring some of the products that were actually not inside there. So this infuriated me, and I said, how? Because I'm raising a young daughter at home today, of course, and a son, but as a young girl, she looks at ad campaigns, she's looking at moisturizer campaigns or beauty product campaigns and wanting to perhaps purchase that product. Unknowingly.
I was infuriated as much as you on the Fair and Lovely. That makes me go punch those people.
Yeah.
The idea of making Asian people want to be fair and lovely and putting bleach on their face. So whatever I can do to support your mission,
thank you.
Count on me.
I had a client message me yesterday actually that she's suffered a terrible reaction on both her arms because a doctor prescribed her a particular treatment to lighten her arms.
Yeah.
And she's ruined the skin on her arms.
Because she burned it.
She burnt it. I think this is a deeper problem, a much deeper problem.
And older.
Yes, exactly. I think that the very spiritual backbone of Indians has somewhat been broken since the British invaded us. We didn't have this problem before the British invaded us. So somehow we have started looking at whiter skin as more superior, but this was not the case before the British came. So I think there's a deeper problem here. It's not just something that's superficial on the skin. I think we need to resurrect the very spiritual backbone of our country in order for this problem to slowly fade away. It's more than just a beauty issue.
I almost feel like tearing inside when you say we need to resurrect the spirit, because I have the same experience about my people and myself as a Romanian. When I came in the UAE in 2004 and I was modeling, people not knowing much about East Europe or Romania, they were unconsciously joking around, oh, you're from Romania, oh, you're a model. What?
I understand.
Right? So it was, that's one moment where I felt muted, because I didn't know how to say, wait a minute, let me educate. I didn't have the spiritual power to stand that comment.
Yeah.
And it
but
applies.
What a beautiful comment it was, right? Because how it's your sacred medicine. Because today we talk about this experience, right? Your sacred medicine.
You have many items, products. You have the rose water, you have the balms. You brought me one today. Thank you so much. I have no idea what's in the box, but whatever it is magic.
It's our pleasure.
Tell me more about the widest products exactly.
Sure. So what we have developed with DiviNom is a slow approach to beauty. It's not a quick fix. It's not like a use this eye patch and your dark circle will go away, or use this on your thing and your wrinkle will go away. That's not our approach to beauty at all. The yogic system and understanding of beauty is very different. Their books are different, their scriptures, how they write and talk about each, I think it's called Angrag, if I'm not mistaken. There's a book that talks about each body part of a woman and how there are natural recipes and remedies that you can create to heal, rejuvenate, and beautify parts of a woman's body. So there's no shame in wanting to look beautiful. Some people think beauty is superficial. We all want to look better. We all want to look more beautiful. We all want better skin. There's no harm. There's no need. I also have Venus in the first house, so.
How many high fives are going to still be in this camera?
Throughout.
Every minute.
So I'm concerned with it. I'm concerned with the exterior, and I won't be shamed for it. And while we launch, let's say, a rose water, our rose water, for example, is ingestible. So it's made to drink. Now, why do we drink rose water? By the way, just a disclaimer, any rose water that anybody has on their shelf, please don't go start drinking it, because not all rose waters are ingestible. If they have chemicals in it to preserve the longevity of the product, perhaps it's not a good idea to drink it. Just wanted to throw that in there. Why we drink our rose water is because a lot of the diseases that we manifest are because of overheated body, pitta, too much heat. Now, the rose water, when you drink it, it calms down the heat of the body, the uterus, the liver, and in turn, it helps you make better blood. And if the blood is better, purer, and cleaner, the skin will look more radiant. So this is what we call inside-out beauty. It's not just to spray on your face. You drink it, you cool the heat of the body, make better blood, and therefore have better skin.
So simple.
It's so simple, but yet look at how complex we've made skin, right? Like it's such an issue. Like
but how
nine-step routine.
It came to you? Did the rose petals whispered to you in the dream? Did they have?
I think my master whispered to me in my ears more than. I've always have had a deep love for plants. It's in my chart, of course, but I've had this love since I was a little girl. Excuse me, with plants and flowers in general. So my house is actually, I don't have things in my house. I have flowers and plants everywhere in my house. That's how I decorate my house.
Okay.
I have a deep love for plants.
No expensive furniture only?
I'm actually getting rid. I don't have a bed in my bedroom.
You have a mattress?
I don't even have a mattress.
You have a...
It's like I sleep on the floor on like a little mat because I feel like my back feels better without like a soft mattress.
That's the secret to your beauty, not a fancy mattress?
No fancy mattress. Fancy mattress ruins my back.
Okay.
It gives me back pain. So I've realized that we're, again, very disconnected from nature, right?
Yeah.
The homes that we built inhibit sunlight,
yeah,
right? We have in the ancient times, there was a home which had like an angan, which is a courtyard, where you could receive the elements of the moon. Now, as important as it is to sunbathe, it's equally important to moonbathe. For women and our psychology and our beauty, we need a lot of moon time, which we don't get.
I'm sorry. I'm speaking on behalf of millions of women. When do we have time to moonbathe, Ayesha?
At night. When the moon is out.
But maybe many women are like, I'm busy being a wife, the work, the projects, the children, learning AI. When do I moonbathe?
Yes, it's a valid conversation. I think in life I've realized if you have enough reason to do something, you'll find 100 other reasons to do it. But if you have even one reason not to do it, you'll find 100 other not to do it. Sometimes what I might do is if I'm listening to an audiobook, I tend to not read a physical book, I tend to listen to books. I'll just go take a round outside my house, 10 minutes.
I never knew about the moon bathing.
Yes, so it's a lesser known fact. But we are primarily made of water, right? It's a water prominent body, and women especially are connected to the moon. So the importance of being outdoors. From my understanding, if we spend enough time outdoors under the moonlight, let's say you do that for 40 days in a stretch.
Starting today.
Yeah, perfect. Your mental fluctuations, your vrittis, all the fluctuations that you have in the mind.
Vrittis?
Vrittis, yeah, they'll start to calm down. The agitated mind that's fluctuating, it's here, there, and everywhere. Maybe overthinking, and anxiety, simple thing like anxiety. If women and children spend time outdoors under the moonlight, I would say most psychologists would be out of a job. That's how profound an impact it can have on our consciousness.
Even if you don't see the moon?
Yes.
Even if you don't see
Yes, because the particles are still there, right? Of course. It's better if there's less light pollution, of course. We live in a city, of course, sometimes areas where there's lots of street lights and stuff. But if you can get away, maybe go to the beach. I sometimes walk the beach at night. There's a night beach in Dubai now where you can actually swim in the water at night. So there's always a way. Take your children out and go if you have kids. Take your husband out and go if you have a husband. 5 minutes. Start with 5 minutes if 1 hour is too much. I always say it's that little muscle that you train.
So if for 10 days we walk at night for 40 days, and if we journal it, document it, we can actually see a...
100%.
Thank you for being on Unmute, Ayesha. Aren't you happy I invited her? Apart from the rose water, you also have some amazing balms, and I saw so many testimonials of
Yes.
different wounds.
Different wounds being healed. Yes.
What's in the balm? What's in the balm?
It's again slow approach to beauty. So just as we have aged wine, where of course the longer you age the wine, the more the potential of the wine can sometimes be. Of course, I'm not promoting alcohol here. I'm just explaining that sometimes when you age something, its efficacy and potency is exponentially greater. Our balm is made from 5-year-old ghee. So it gets aged first. In specific clay pots, it's put underground and it gets aged for 5 years. Then when we take it out, it gets washed inside a pure gold pot.
It stays under the soil for 5 years?
Stays under the soil for
in
5
Kashmir
years.
or in Dubai?
No, it's actually in a belt in the central part of India. In neither. Not in Dubai.
In a belt?
In the central region of India. Yeah.
Okay.
Where the lab is, where everything gets made. And so it gets, it comes out.
So you put this ghee 5 years ago?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
It's
so
like growing another baby.
Yeah,
it's like having a seed in the womb.
Absolutely. I mean, most moisturizers in the lab, when you have the formula to create the product, can take around 6 minutes to make a batch of moisturizer.
For sure.
It takes us 46,000 hours to make our batch of balm, which is why it heals. So we're not just saying you want dewy skin, radiant skin.
Yes, we do. No wrinkles,
There you go.
no
there
acne.
You go.
No.
There you go. So you got to start from, I would say the balm is one of our hero products because it's also washed with rose water on top of it. So it's deeply cooling, deeply hydrating. It has the ability to penetrate deeper layers of the skin, and it will not clog your lymph. What happens with some moisturizers that are available in the market that have petroleum, they can clog your lymph because the body doesn't have the ability to filter it out. And even if it is filtering it out, it's going through the liver and the kidney, which is, of course, putting a load on the liver and the kidney. But this, because it's ghee and pure rose water, there's no third ingredient in it. And there's no chemical preservative because the longer you age it, the better it becomes.
What happens to... What is the process that happens inside the ghee for 5 years? Because we have the ghee that I love to cook with.
Yes.
And then you have the ghee that you kept in the soil for 5 years. What process happens
So
in
basically the structure of the ghee is changing over time, right? Its ability to penetrate is changing over time. The healing ability of the ghee is changing. Then when you wash it, the molecular structure is changing. So it's not just 5-year-old ghee. We sometimes use 6-year-old ghee. And there is also, I believe, 10, 20, up to 50-year-old ghee that can sometimes even work on curing macular degeneration. So ghee is, this is why in Hindu tradition we worship the cow, because they say that if you have a cow, you will probably never die with disease because there are 5,000 different remedies that can be made from cows. Cancer can be healed from some of their medications, inflammation from macular issues to issues regarding reproductive health. The uterus can be healed through ghee. Bone density can be healed through ghee. I mean, a host of different. It's another universe.
What does the cow give us that you can create solutions for reproduction? Because we can put the IVF to rest out of business.
So I would say again, if somebody hasn't had a child yet,
Yeah.
it's super important to ingest good quality ghee on a date. That's just the ghee that you would
And where
eat.
do you find good quality ghee?
We have it. We sell it. We started.
So it's not just the balm; it's to ingest.
So the balm itself is only for the skin that you
Okay.
don't ingest.
Sure.
The 5-year-old ghee for the balm we only put on the face.
Okay.
But we have a separate ghee that we make. It comes in a 500 gram in a 1 liter bottle that you just drink 1 teaspoon in a hot water glass every single day. It will make sure that your bones are. It has all the different amino acids, all the different nutrients, calcium.
Wait. Okay, let's slow down.
Let's slow down.
Because I'm hugely preoccupied with the health of the womb and the ovaries and
Beautiful.
creating the best vessel, the best
Of course.
body to be ready to procreate when and if that happens.
It's the home of the baby, right?
It's the home of humanity.
Yeah, of course.
So
it's the door to life. Mandatory. There's no
So
life
how
without ghee.
this came to you?
No life without ghee. In
Also-
fact, your labor pains will reduce to barely next to none.
Which pains? Labor pains?
Pains. If you have been having a good amount of ghee.
Okay, so today we start the revolution.
Moon
Oh.
and ghee.
What?
Moon and ghee. You're going to walk in the moonlight and you're going to eat lots of ghee.
So you're getting younger,
you go.
stress-free. If you want to create a life and have a
Yeah.
labor, you almost have no pain.
Yeah, stronger bones.
Just by walking in the moon
and
and
also great skin luster.
just by walking in the moonlight
Yeah,
and
also
eating ghee.
beauty. Even beauty. If you don't want to buy the balm, go sit in the moonlight. There's always things that are available.
But
Like
we
nature.
take it for granted. We take it for granted.
We take it for granted.
How did the ghee came to you? How did the structure of the ghee came to you? It was you, the chart, the guru?
I'm actually trying to think back to give you the most appropriate answer. I don't want to answer sporadically because I think I don't actually recall. Yes, so my master has been, in fact, educating me on the benefits of ghee, on the different benefits of the ghee itself, but the different remedies that he understands that can actually heal diseases from the body. This left me flabbergasted that how is it that we don't know? You know, let's say that you have an issue with the mind, issue with the eyes. You know, they're nasium, like you can do these drops that you put in your nasal passage that can pacify agitated air in the body. I mean, it's a host of different things that you can cure.
So when
it was my master that I've been eating ghee since we were young.
Yeah.
But ghee, like other things, there are different levels and there are different qualities, right? Not all clothes are the same. Not all doctors are the same. Not all shampoos are the same. Not all ghee is the same. So it's about really trying to find the truth.
So if anybody being is intrigued as I am right now, if I ask you, okay, but show me the scientific proof, you will say 5,000 years of using ghee.
No, there's papers. There's data and there's papers. Now, if I can tell you that we had a woman that walked through our doors that was suffering from infertility for over a decade, and 6 months into, I think, her protocol, she managed to conceive. So that's enough science, right? Why do we need to publish the paper?
Sign me up.
There you go. There you go. So it's also celiac disease. Gut diseases can be cured with certain types of ghee. Like I said, it's not all the same. And it's not only one ghee that can cure. So ghee is great for the body overall if you're not working on a disease. But if there's a particular condition, then there might be a medicine and a ghee that's prescribed. And that can... it's all there.
But do you have enough ghee for all of us? How much ghee have you been putting under the soil in the last 5 years? Like a few kilograms.
I mean, can I put a balm in everybody's house? No, I can't. And yet it's a scalable enough brand. We have our own Gaushala now, which is outside Varanasi, outside Banaras. There's a Gaushala where we have our own cows. I would love to, at the end of this, show you a quick little video of our cows. So we don't... chain or put a rope around our cows.
You're free.
They are free to roam. Yeah. They get 6 hours of sunlight. You will see the cows in the video jumping like bunnies.
Yeah.
I had never seen cows jump like that until I saw the cows in our... They're like little bunnies jumping around.
Come with me to Romania, to the mountainside.
They're left free to graze, free to roam,
oh my
not
God.
caged.
I saw happy, gorgeous, beautiful cows in Romania.
Beautiful.
Because they just live in the mountains free.
Of course, you come from that land, so you understand. And you see, it's also the subtle force, the energy of the cow when it's in pain or tortured. If you're taking out milk from a cow, sometimes a cow has mastitis and we're taking out milk from the cow. She's in pain.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not, you don't want to be drinking that milk or you don't want to be drinking. So it's very important the steps that we follow before, during, after. No grain to be fed, only grass, certain medicines. They get massaged. So it's a process.
They get massaged?
Absolutely.
This is because of, that's what they do in that part of the India, or is because you thought of how can we make these cows as happy as possible?
No, so there's a protocol, there's a system. I'll give you another example. Like when the cows drink water, the area from which they drink water, there's a specific thing called chuna, which is limestone, which is I think CaCO3, I'm not sure. I think that's calcium, that it's lined with the calcium. And so when they drink the water from that, they are not depleted in calcium from within because they're taking their milk out. So there's a very precise science and a system how to treat and take care of the cows in order to enable them to get and produce better and more effective milk, and in order to not torture them. But people don't follow these principles because we want shortcuts, we want to commercialize things, mass production. Yeah, so there's the balm. It's a slow approach, and we have an elixir oil, which is also deeply healing, made from over 50 different plants and roots. There's a principle in ancient Ayurveda that is called Panchang, where you take the 5 different limbs of a plant and you use all the 5 limbs. So the bark and the seed and the root, it all gets prepared into this concoction. Like I said, it's more than actually 50 different plants and herbs. And it's a miraculous oil. If you need an oil for your intimate health and area, zero artificial ingredients, zero chemicals. If you're looking for an oil to massage the skin of your baby, the scalp of your baby, no parabens, no synthetics, no petroleum, just pure healing nectar. In fact, the elixir oil is so pure, you can actually put your oil in a teaspoon and eat it. And this is how you can literally eat it. I've eaten it. This is how pure the oil is.
I can see. So there is the rose water.
Yes.
There is the ghee, fermented ghee that it's internally and externally used, and the elixir, the oil.
Yes, and then we have perfumes where we are making pure rose.
I didn't know.
We're making pure rose oil. We have pure mitti oil where we actually extract the scent of the earth from the riverbed of the river Ganges. And then that scent is extracted. And so if you're ever feeling uprooted, not grounded, in a state of fear.
You've thought of everything to really feed the earth.
To feed this body.
To feed this earth.
Because we are the earth, right? We've got too disconnected. We've got too fragmented. So we need to return back to the remedies that she has.
We are mid-2025. When did you launch DiviNom? Was it last year?
Last year. I think the official launch has been this year because we had the e-commerce to work on. So the product came, then the ideas started coming, then we were brewing up ideas of how to expand it. We now have launched a hair fall loss, anti-hair loss oil. We've launched a body massage oil, which is also very profound. 22 different herbs and roots, pure. We're not 99% pure, we're 100% pure. I always like to make that claim because pure can mean different things to different people.
I want to ask you a hard question.
Go for it.
I want to ask you a commercial question.
Yes, go for it.
Who is your competition?
I really want to answer this question without saying, oh, we don't have any competition. Because when I look at the market and I see a luxury premium, we're an Indian brand and we're proud to be Indian because the herbs that we use, they're from the soil of India. I can't bring those herbs to another country and mostly we can't. And when I look at a premium brand, and by premium, I don't mean the price tag. I mean the level of efficacy, the level of responsibility, and the level of promise. So if we say we can heal your eczema, and if I can say that's 100%, that's the claim that I make. I'm yet to meet that brand. So with utmost humility, I will say that I don't know who our competition is. I genuinely don't know.
I asked you this question for fun. Because
I'm like, I wish, because we need more brands like this, right? We need more people.
Because I know you, and I know we're gonna share here in the post editing your incredible fashion line. And already when I saw your fashion line, I was like, I've never seen anything more beautiful. Your material were hemp, the cotton, flaxseed, like the most, of course, natural.
Rose fiber too.
Rose fiber, I didn't even know that. Mm-hmm. So knowing your essence, I knew that you are going to come up in DiviNom with something that is without competition, and your website. And when I read and I studied everything that you said, I read on the website. I did my homework because I love you and I admire you.
Thank you.
And I understood that it's a blue ocean on its own. It's a blue ocean on its own, and I kind of knew the answer, but I wanted more people who are watching the podcast till this moment to learn about the uniqueness of this remedy, elixir, balm, magic potion that is a magic potion.
And we have Shilajit too.
Come on now.
Yes, we
Tell
have
me
a
about the Shilajit.
very beautiful medicine that comes from the higher altitudes of the Himalayas. Of course, Shilajit can be taken from different altitudes.
Yeah.
I'll summarize this. The higher altitude Shilajit is more effective. It's used in treatment. Even post-cancer, somebody who's recovering from chemo can take Shilajit. If you want more testosterone in the body, if you want more youthful luster, perhaps more beauty, you're looking
Everybody.
for something, everybody, yes.
Everybody.
Something more external, more strength, vitality. Our Shilajit is also different because we put 24 karat gold inside our Shilajit. So gold, ancient yogis in Ayurvedic medicine have this understanding that gold is a very important part of the body, that you need to keep it prominent.
And it impacts our frequency.
It impacts our frequency. So it impacts everything that we do, actually, how we perform, it impacts our heart health greatly. So children that, let's say, are in their teens, they've suffered perhaps heartbreak or heartache. If they have a good amount of gold in their body, the recovery from that heart ache or painful experience or episode will be exponentially faster if you have good gold in your body. So we have Shilajit as well.
I know so much about that, and I can open a 30 minutes parenthesis, but I want, thank God, that you did the Shilajit. Okay, anything else on the menu?
Yeah, like while I'm at... Well, we have a lot of product that we are currently formulating. I find a lot of women come to me and tell me that they have iron deficiencies, magnesium deficiencies.
And it's so hidden. I just discovered it this year. It's so hidden, the iron deficiency.
Hidden. Absolutely.
And it impacts our hormones and our estrogen production. See?
Bravo.
Been there, done that.
And also with magnesium. So it's ubiquitous. It's everywhere. Everywhere you look, there are some deficiencies in the body. And the body gets older. It has a tendency to obviously slow down. Our idea is to bring not just, of course, balms, creams, and lotions, but also to bring about things like iron. We don't even like to use the word supplements because it comes with a preconceived idea. Please know that everything that we do is natural. When we say we are creating an iron supplement, it's created from nature. It's 100% natural. And we take responsibility for the fact that when you take this iron or magnesium, you can go back and check your blood tests and you will improve your iron levels. That's the kind of tall claim and audacious claim that we are making with our product.
So DiviNom is 1000% your fourth child. After your two beautiful children in your fashion line, DiviNom is your fourth child.
I think so. I think it's my new husband. No, I'm just kidding. I'm married to it. It comes from a very deep place within. Because, like I said, it's not just beauty. It's within. I spoke to a client yesterday who was suffering from skin afflictions. She's got psoriasis from her face right down to her feet. She's absolutely covered, and it pains me to see. And it's 20 years she's been trying to find remedies for it.
And that was using everything, the ghee, the rose water?
No, so she's had psoriasis for 20 years.
Yeah.
She's a young girl. She's probably just 40 at the moment. She's tried every single treatment available to her that she's had access to. And she just walked through our doors only yesterday. So she hasn't started our treatment yet.
Got it.
But just highlighting the fact that when women come to us, it's not just because they want more dewy skin, which is great. There's nothing wrong with wanting shiny and great skin. We love it. But what we're saying is that we're working on a woman's health and her skin inside out. Because if you're not going to... the skin is just a mirror reflection of what's happening inside. And if you're not attending to what's happening inside, it's just reflecting back at you. It's like God's way of saying, okay, there's something wrong inside. You're not going to be able to look what's happening inside. So why don't you look outside? I'll show you what's happening inside. But we don't know how to look, you see.
Or we hide, we prolong because we are scared to face.
Of course. But there's also a very precise system in which you're able to diagnose what's happening outside. And that is not in our hands. We are not the experts. I'm not a doctor. I work with a healer and a master and a guru, but I'm not a doctor. So he's enlightening me with his wisdom. But now I've begun to understand that skin is in fact...
all this
reflection.
Yes, all this incredible self-care and medicine that you are bringing us, it leads me to the topic of self-love. And I had a long journey of understanding what does it mean to truly love my life, my being, listening to myself. I've learned to love myself a little bit more than my mom loved herself, and
Sure.
that's proper because it's evolution. We're supposed to
Sure.
be a little bit better than our
Sure.
parents. How do you encourage women, men and children, but let's just say women, to identify how much they love themselves and how much more they can love themselves? Because as you are on a revolution of authenticity and giving us natural medicine, I am on a sincere revolution to what I think and feel that if we were to be more loving to ourselves and become our best friend, there will be so much more harmony in our world.
Absolutely. It's a great question. Thank you. I think everybody needs, and I myself need to hear this on a day. There's no such thing as arriving at the destination. I think we're all works in progress. What I would say is a few things. Let's start with something really simple. There's a book called Psycho-Cybernetics.
That's my favorite. I teach from it.
Again, we high five. We high five again.
I teach from the book in my online speaking program.
So it's a beautiful book, and I think it's simple, but there's so much wisdom in that for people who just are starting their journey. Young kids can learn it. I know a good number of successful businessmen that actually give this book to their team to read on a regular basis. Exactly. Bravo. So I would say that's one, but there you go. You already know it. I'm sure your audience would probably have known this from you previously. That's one. Another thing I would say is there's no destination to reach as far as I love myself perfectly enough. There's always scope to constantly evolve and improve. We've been indoctrinated by this idea that we will be loved if, and there is a condition there, or we are loved if we perform for our parents, if we have the right grades, or potentially we look a certain way, or our hair looks a certain way, and so there's all these kind of indoctrinations that are instilled on us from the time that we are young. It's not just our parents, but we can move to TV. Why is it called TV program? It's programming us. Every time we look at the TV, we're being programmed. Certain person's skin, how she looks, how she acts. So this can be quite a complex web, right, for us to unfold from and to come out of. So the simplistic understanding, in my humble opinion, is we are enough as it is right now, the way we are. We are absolutely enough. This illusory act of wanting to get going back to the certificate or achieving another badge, another title. I have some friends that are hyper intellectual, and that's where they receive their love from. They feel validated and loved because of their cerebral potential, their ability to, capture information and regurgitate information. To them, that's their. So it's all an illusion. So once we really deeply understand that we are not our certificates, we are not our body, we are not our thoughts. This is just a little suit that we're wearing. So we have to really recondition and redefine ourselves that on a soul level, we're all exactly the same. There is no culture, there is no definition, there is no hair, there is no long legs, short legs, color of skin, acne or no acne. We're all on a soul level the same. And when we really sit with that and we understand that, I would say that's where it's the ability to be okay with where you're at right now.
But someone who, by convention, don't have the aesthetics that you have, will say, listening to this podcast, but it's easy for you to say, Ayesha, because you look impeccable and you look incredibly beautiful.
Of course.
Because you are taking care of yourself, but because of your genetic makeup. What would you say to that person?
So I would say that person presupposes that I don't have my fair share challenges. You see, because when you see something on the outside, somebody might say, okay, she has great skin. So it's easy for her to say.
And hair and body and eyes and wisdom. You come as a incredible, beautiful package.
Right, so it's a great question. Of course, it's a great question. I would say to that person that we all have our own karma. We come with a certain karma. Have I been through my fair share of grueling, hard, difficult days where I've had my head buried in the abyss, into the darkness, right into the underworld, and have to come out of it. Those are days that I spent alone. I spent working through my stuff. So in those times, was I anchoring into the fact that I had great skin and great hair? Not at all. Not at all. Those were areas of my soul that I had to refine. And that challenge lay only for myself. And that path led me to a spiritual path. And so we can get this idea of self-love from body, that I think I'm pretty and therefore I love myself. Or we can get it from the intellect. I'm smart and therefore I love myself. Or I am spiritual and therefore I am better than others. So you can identify with whatever. But the ultimate truth is that none of those feel true to me. What feels true to me is your connection with your heart. It's that connection. It's when you're feeling connected in your heart, whether you have a certain eye color, skin color, that radiance that you give off from inside can be felt from the outside, no matter your hair texture, no matter your intellect, no matter your wisdom.
That radiance, light. 2 years ago, I've met an incredible Romanian healer. His name is Caesar. He's gifted. He's 50 plus and he heals hundreds of Romanian people on a daily basis. It's impossible to get an appointment with him because he's gifted.
Wow.
So in my first session, when he was working on my body, I told him I had, he asked me if he had any surgeries. I said I did a rhinoplasty, I did a nose correction, I was wearing braces for 2 years, and I also corrected my ears because they were out much on the outside, and I did a small surgery correction to put them in. And most gurus, most wise healers are extremely gentle. So in his gentle voice, he said, but don't you know that it's not the exterior beauty, it's not the harmonious, beautiful nose, it's not the perfect teeth that makes you beautiful, but the cultivation of your radiance and light. The more you expand your consciousness and the more loving you are, the more radiant you are, and people see that beauty.
You can feel it. It's felt.
And I was like, and he didn't say, why did you do the surgeries? Why did you torture the body? He only said, don't you know that?
Beautiful. Yeah. Because, I mean, if he's going to judge, then what about the rest of the world? There's no judgment there, right?
So thank you for bringing this. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for articulating it in this way, because it also gives me the floor to tell our amazing audience that self-love comes with cultivating your inner light, your love, where you are most beautiful, not necessarily in the physical. But Dr. Maxwell Maltz speaks about body image and how you can shift the way you look at yourself. And by the way, do you know that more than 60% of people who I help, they can't speak in public mainly because they don't like that they are bald or that they have big hips. So it's a body, it's a perception of their body that prevents and that makes them feel shameful, and they are not able to have that presence and that power because their perception of how they look. And I'm like, are you kidding me? But what you... So that's where I become a talking mirror and I shift their attention.
How beautiful. You're doing God's work here.
Thank you so much for saying that. I want to, towards the end of our conversation, invite you to tell us something that I've actually struggled with for a long time. When I was modeling successfully for 10 years in the Emirates, and I'm so proud. I never had a chance to walk or do photos in your beautiful garments, but it's never too late.
It's never too late, yeah, exactly.
When I stepped into executive coaching and being a public speaking coach, I had to become serious and be, of course, modest, respectful to the culture of UAE. That's fine. But I was hiding that I was a model. I was hiding that I have beauty. And I didn't want clients to hire me because I'm a pretty face. I wanted them to hire me for my skills. And I see it with many other high-achieving women that they kind of dim down, turn down their beauty
Yeah.
In order versus,
In order for the other person, perhaps,
yeah.
not to see or not to be blinded by their light.
And because you are also an astrologer and because you have your Venus in your first house, because you are an advocate of beauty, I want you to help more women to flaunt their beauty versus then dimming it down and putting the suit and being serious, because I don't want them. And I'm talking about two friends who, when they will watch this episode, they will know that I'm talking about them, but I'm not saying their names. So the corporate woman who dresses more masculine, more serious, and doesn't wear much makeup so that she can be taken serious.
Of
But
course.
your superpower is your beauty.
Absolutely. And I think this is it's about balance, right? I don't think that we need to be too much in our feminine or too much in our masculine, right? That's exactly what this whole idea of hieros gamos, it alludes to, it's Shiva Shakti. It also alludes to the fact that we need to be in that balance. If we can understand, physics and chemistry and become an aeronautics engineer, we can still wear a sari at the same time, So I don't think they're mutually exclusive. This is what I would encourage women to learn and understand, that it's the union of that left brain. Perhaps you're a mathematical genius and you attribute that's a man's game. It's not. Perhaps you're quicker at solving the Rubik's Cube or playing a game of chess than another guy. Embrace that, but in equal measure, get into the kitchen and make a meal for your husband. And it's that, in that balance, that we become a complete woman, I would say.
Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. Hot question. And lastly, but not least, difficult question for Ayesha Depala.
Okay.
Where in your life you are still unmuting yourself?
I feel that I sometimes have got feedback from friends. They often come and tell me that you're hard to approach and that I can be quite intimidating, which is not how I see myself, but it's true. See, it is true. But when I heard that from a close girlfriend, I paid some attention to it because I thought if she's saying it for my good, which I knew she was saying it to help me, perhaps help me evolve, get past. And so then I questioned her in return and I said, why do you think that is? And so she said it's because you seem formidable. You're not scared of anything. And you perhaps seem to have a bit more knowledge than the average walking, talking human being because you read. You've done a lot of work with your shamans, with your medicine people. She's like, you're formidable. And so then that led me to think, so should I become less formidable? Because I made her answer the question. Do you see what I'm saying? So if it meant that it was my being formidable that led women to feel uncomfortable, then maybe I rather hold a mirror up to a woman who feels maybe a bit shaken by my presence, go back and self-reflect on what makes her uncomfortable, and hopefully I've taught her something, but I probably don't want to dim my light anymore.
The only thing I want to say is, this is the fourth high five. Thank you for standing so strong and poised in your beauty and in your spirit.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
No, we are not done.
We're not done yet.
I have an anthem and a gift to celebrate you and DiviNom.
Oh, God bless you.
And Paraguru. Paramguru.
Paramguru, that is correct.
From Kashmir's rivers to Dubai's gold light, you've walked with elegance, soul, and might. A sculptor of silk, a whisper of fire. You dressed the stars and then climbed higher. In fabrics you stitched what words couldn't say, a beauty that healed in its quiet way. But beneath the shimmer, the shine, the thread, a woman was yearning, quietly led. You followed the ache, the whisper, the call, through Amazon jungles and ego's fall. From catwalk to cosmos. From runway to route, you traded the gloss for something more true. Now roses remember what fingers once knew. Your healing begins in each drop of dew. With breath as your guide and mantra your balm, you teach us that softness is holy and calm. You move like a prayer, dress like a flame, yet live like a sage with no need for fame. You unmute the power you are taught to repress and remind us that stillness is not any less. With every inhale, you soften the edge. You walk with grace on the soul's sharp ledge. A mother of beauty, of lineage and lore, you opened the veil, then opened the door. So here is to the healer in silk and in sand, to the one who holds both thread and hand. You remind the world to lead is to feel, to serve is to love, to dress is to heal.
Thank you so much. That was very, very beautiful. Thank you so much.
Your friend, and I'm so happy you were here.
It's been an absolute privilege. I actually forgot that we were here. Being in conversation with you was just flowed with so much ease and comfort and grace, and I felt like it's one of our conversations that we've had on a couch outside of the studio.
And I don't know what you're doing in September and October, but I would love to invite you in season 2 because we haven't touched upon astrology, we haven't touched upon many, many other things.
Sure, it would be my pleasure.
But thank you for birthing DiviNom and for giving the world
Thank you.
so much healing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really, thank you from the bottom of my heart, and thank you for this very... Can I keep this?
Everyone says that. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. It makes me happy that you want to give it.
It's very special on a day that I feel like maybe I feel lost, which I still do sometimes. I will use this as a reminder. It's really beautiful, very special. Thank you so much.